Overlord is a low-budget war horror film that was produced by J.J. Abrams and follows several American soldiers who are dropped in the middle of France behind enemy lines on the day just before D-Day, and they discovered these secret Nazi experimentations, basically Nazi zombies, only it's not as many as I thought that there would be. Keeping everything I said in mind, this is basically what everyone would want out of a Wolfenstein movie. Or some kind of adaptation like that, and I think it's done very well. But before we actually get into my specific thoughts about the movie, I do want to throw out our normal disclaimer for those of the uninitiated, you know, those who've never seen anything on this channel. But the best way that I convey my thoughts is I do a pro and con list. Simple. Pro is everything good, and then con is everything that was either bad or maybe was lacking in a certain bit of quality. I do try to keep those separate for the most part, but sometimes I will transition every once in a while between points. But don't worry, I always put in the bottom which one we're on. Let me think. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's go ahead and get to the review. I was a little worried that the entire film was just going to be a zombie apocalypse movie, but I don't think you can consider something with only 2 zombies a zombie apocalypse movie. Or, well, okay, there's technically 3 or so, but you know, that gets into spoilers. But personally, I really liked that there was only a couple of them. It felt a bit different from a lot of your other, like, B-movie horror flicks. And this movie knows exactly what it is. It knows that it's it basically feels like it's going the same route as the Indiana Jones movie, where it's obviously like a B-rate serial movie. But, you know, they have, you know, they're just giving more care than you would for a normal B-rate movie. The performances were good too, but I don't think anybody really stood out, nor was this supposed to be a movie where people stood out. It's not like this was going to get Oscar buzz anyway. I mean, you know, they filled in the normal standard for cliche for war films. You know, you got the hardcore guy, the one with the snarky attitude that most people don't like, the kind of wimpy guy who just happens to be there, and of course the lawful good hero. The opening sequence, the one that we see in the trailers with the planes being shot at, was really well done. Actually, anything with planes, gunfights, and set pieces were done pretty well. I actually have to mention this again because I forgot that this was in my show notes, but it's just more talking about how this is a true B-movie that knows it's a B-movie, but it can never really fully go there. It still has to take itself seriously, and, you know, as much as it can with this material, this I consider both a pro and a con, but for entertainment reasons, I'm going to keep it at a pro. And to touch back on the 4th pro, this movie is extremely gory and quite unsettling, and I think that's the greatest advantage of this movie being an A movie that's basically trying to be a B movie, is that you get this amount of detail. The difference between a severed head in both types, A-rate movies and B-rate movies, are, you know, and how audience members naturally react to them is kind of vast, and it skirts that line pretty well, although there were definitely some sequences that made me want to hurl, and I'm not a person who's normally looking at blood and, you know, severed limbs and heads and thinking, oh, I'm gonna be sick, but this movie actually unsettled me to a point in some sequences. The film could have definitely picked up the pace in the middle part of the film because it's just them focusing time in the place that they're hiding in this house. And really, this entire section could bring up the argument that maybe there should have actually been more zombies and that it maybe should have been more like a zombie apocalypse movie, but I don't know, it's whatever the individual audience member thinks. And those are my individual thoughts on Overlord. I was expecting the movie to be a legitimate fun time in the theaters, and it really was. It was crazy and outlandish enough to entertain me, and serious enough to make me appreciate the effort that was put in. I think since it came out, I haven't rewatched it, but I don't know. It's one of those movies where if I just happen to come across it on like HBO or Netflix or whatever, then yeah, I'll definitely watch it if I have time. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't hesitate to hit that like button. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button so that you can keep up to date with everything that's going on in the channel. And don't forget to keep the conversation going on down below. If you've seen this movie, or if you still haven't seen this movie, you know, just talk about it down down below. I like seeing what people think about some of the movies and topics that I mentioned in my videos. All that's left to say is farewell until the next video, all you casual moviegoers and movie fans alike, and keep on being awesome.